this time not to go in it when it was fourth and just so far?
Didn't want to.
Just go ahead and punt it at that point and try to run out the clock? Is that what's going on there?
Didn't want to put our defense in a bad spot.
You can talk about the running game today. You were very productive on the ground, 345.
We ran the ball well. Obviously, our people up front played well, I thought. We've got to be able to throw it too, and we didn't throw the ball very well today. So you got to have some balance, and particularly when we had, a couple of those 3-and-outs late that cost us.
At this stage of the game, Coach, what can you do about the pass defense?
Probably let the air out of the ball, I guess.
Coach, Duke Shelley makes the pick six, and then he gets hurt. How big of a deflating moment was that for your team having to go to?
Well, I thought the interception that he made was great, and Reed made a beautiful interception as well. Both of them did, but they still have 440 some odd yards or whatever it is passing. So we just didn't defend the pass very well, as one of you just indicated. And then when we had to replace him, then obviously we got another big play against us. So I guess you could say it hurt us.
How good was Mason Rudolph today?
Well, 400 and some odd yards is pretty decent. And which we knew. We knew he was good. He played well, threw the ball well, scrambled well. Got some plays in the scrambles.
And what do you think of Jesse's performance?
Pardon?
Jesse
Ertz?
Yes, sir.
I thought Jesse played well. He's had some family issues that were probably could have been very distracting, but his tough-mindedness overcame that, and I thought he played well.
What was the offensive line as well as Winston Dimmel doing to kind of pave the way for the ground attack today?
Well, I think, as I've said so many times, I think our offensive line has improved week in and week out, and this was no exception. Oklahoma State has a good defensive front, and I thought our guys blocked well. We had a significant number of creases. So yeah, they did well. Backs ran well.
Can you discuss having Ian Patterson kick field goals today? What the decision was with that?
Well, he was the only one we hit.
Bill, did you get any explanation on the pass interference call in the end zone that set you back for that last?
Well, they told me who it was on. I have yet to see. I can't argue the play because I didn't see what the call was. I didn't see what that individual was doing, so I don't know.
Were you pleased at how you were able to handle the clock to get into position to score there?
Well, I thought we did a reasonably good job. Yes, we're right there on the cusp, and at the time, I want to say before, with the exception of the penalty, I think there was 10 seconds on the clock, as I recall it. So we had the opportunity to get 2 snaps in. If needed, but penalties are penalties.
With 10 seconds left, you made sure and put the ball in the air so you'd have another snap.
Yeah. In all likelihood, we would. We have some things that are optional. That you could take the run or you could take the pass. So, but we were prepared to throw it. Yeah.
Along with being on the field goals, you had Lockmiller kicking off, a lot of touchbacks, and you had a recovered mutt punt and blocked punt. So your special teams, you thought maybe could have made a difference today?
Well, I thought obviously the turnover on the punt was major in the ball game, and I thought Lockmiller hit the daylights out of the ball. I thought, which was a great tribute to him. And it's not just that he hits with depth. I mean, he's always been able to do that. It's, you know, that he had poise and the composure to be able to hit the ball where we wanted to hit it, not crank it out of bounds or anything like that. So I was proud of his effort today, truly.
When you examine it, I mean, this has been a trend with the second halves. How did you feel like you guys performed? Did you perform more of a complete game today?
Well, no, it wasn't a complete game. Maybe more of. I have to go back and reassess that and watch the tape, etc. But you know, we were inconsistent in the latter half of the ball game. You know, some good things, some not so good. You know, Oklahoma State had a little bit to do with that, but you know, once again, it rests on our shoulders.
Mason Rudolph is a very strong dual threat quarterback. What did this show you as far as where you go with your defense, and maybe what areas of improvement do you plan to look at? Well,
I mean, the simplicity of it is, you know, we've got to improve our defense against the pass. I mean, that's, you know, my 9-year-old granddaughter knows that. Although I don't have a 9-year-old granddaughter.
Coach,
if you punch it in, Bill, if you get that touchdown, I mean, was this a day when this team was maybe on the cusp of finding itself, finding an identity, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. That's kind of something that we addressed in the locker room. I'm just hoping that they understand that as well and not let this, pull them down. That's not been the nature of Kansas State football. I mean, it's always, met the challenge and had the persistence to, work through things like this. And, it's amazing what 6 inches and no penalty would have meant. Truly, and as I said to them, in all reality, it's not the worst thing that's ever going to happen to them in their lives. And the key element is it's a major test of our character. Players, coaches alike, and I'd like to believe, and I do believe that our guys will respond. And I think they, I wasn't unhappy with the way that. With our youngsters, the approach to the ball game, the emotion for the ball game. I thought all those things were in place. Their capacity to focus, but it's once again it's a full 60 minutes, and we just haven't completely done that yet.
Does bye week come at a good time for you guys?
I think all players would probably tell you, and coaches alike, you hate to sit around with a loss, and one that's as distinguishable as this, for that long period of time. So everybody responds to it perhaps a little bit differently, and I hope, I hope the obvious things, that we come back, get it behind us, and get to work and prepare well for, the future.
After bouncing that first extra point off the left upright, were you happy with how Patterson kind of recovered and played for the rest of the game?
Well, I was. He came back and hit the ball extremely well, and for the most part, and that was a plus. You don't know how a young guy, a kicker, when that's what you do for that's your livelihood, and you don't know how they're going to respond. When that happens. But I thought he handled it quite well, and I was proud of that.